Hey everybody, welcome. It's your buddy FETT. Welcome, FETT FORCE. First of all, first thing I want to do is get the elephant in the room out of the way. I got a zit. I have a zit at my age, yes. Well, this has been a really bad week. The last 2 days specifically were even worse, and they just keep getting worse. Maybe I'll get into that, maybe I won't. But this is probably going to be a short one. I know I always say it's probably going to be short, and they go on and on and on and on and on, but probably going to be short. Anyway, I'm not going to waste any time bringing in, my partner in crime. Hit that beautiful Fez footage.
Ladies and gentlemen, millions watching around the world, let me introduce to you the genius of genealogy, the guru of guitar, John Fez Wendo.
Brother John, what's going on, my man?
Oh, not too much, not too much. Having a weird week myself. And I forgot to mention when we talked earlier, about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock this morning, I finished up a 6 or 7 page essay that was due for Grand Lodge today. So I had been given this back in January, and I thought, no problem. I'm the historian. I know this stuff. And I had to do basically 3 essays on 3 different guys in one. And got all the research done, and then I couldn't find my notes. So back and forth to the books, the research, the lodge, yada, 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 yada. Finally got it done, and then I couldn't sleep. So, yeah. It's been a day. And then, setting up all this stuff and doing some cleaning in the shop, some stuff for Mother. It's been weird. Surprisingly, I'm awake. But
surprisingly, I've been getting sleep. That's one of the things, I typically don't sleep, but I've been doing an awful lot of that. Haven't been feeling great the last 2 days, so I don't know. We'll see. So we haven't been feeling great, and just the last couple of days just been really sucking. But this is going to be a real John heavy episode. So before we get too much more into John, I see we got a dolphin backstage. John heavy episode. What's going on, Raymond? We got an echo. Much more into John. I see we got a dolphin backstage. I think you got YouTube on, Raymond. What's going on, Raymond? We got an echo. There we go. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, God. It's been...
You too, huh?
Yeah. Between moving cubes at work, my monitors deciding the very next day to die on me. Where I can't use them. Yeah, too many. It was like, I don't remember where all the USB plugs in. So I've got my mouse plug on something else. And the very next day, IT came by to try and help me. They couldn't figure it out. I got 2 other monitors, and they couldn't figure it out. Still couldn't figure it out, and decided, cue the Jaws music. He decided the only option to fix my monitor problem is upgrade to Windows 11.
Oh.
Yep. Trying to get me to do that too. Yeah.
Yeah. But so he's got my computers held hostage for the weekend.
Mhm.
And well, the good thing is they were able to find a much better monitor for me.
Oh,
So
good.
that should solve the problems. So,
Cool.
So hopefully that will go well. Secondly,
Yeah.
I was supposed to fly yesterday, do some practice takeoffs and landings. We were going to go about 4 o'clock. At about 2, just about when it was time for me to do my final weather check, I get one of my coworkers comes by and says, "Oh, we got a tornado watch." So at that point, I called my instructor and said, "Out of an abundance, did you get the alert?" He said, "Yes."
Yeah.
I said, "I think out of an abundance of caution, let's reschedule." And at the exact same time we would have been flying, we would have taken off, the heavens opened.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was part 2. And then today I had my signing event.
Mhm.
As part of I was the only author as part of a combined car show. I got great pictures. I'll upload them.
Cool.
Car and craft show.
Yeah.
So there were crafters, there were food vendors, there were sweet bakers. Well, I've got their sweet stuff there. Sandra got us cinnamon rolls. Hey, I'll try. But
Yeah, I'll try.
the bottom line there is I didn't sell a single book, not a single one.
Oh, that sucks.
And
That sucks, man.
The worst thing is a person the craft people got looks. The food people, of course, they got their looks and purchases. They would walk by me and just go, "Ew, books."
Yeah.
And made it obvious. It was like, oh, you couldn't be any less obvious that you hate books. So yeah. I had 2 people talk to me about the books and take my business cards. That's it. So not a single book was sold. Fortunately, I've got a Comic-Con next week that I'll be going to, but it's not been great for the Dolphin these past few days.
Yeah, must be going around then.
Yeah. It's that week.
Well, like I was saying, on top of not feeling great and everything that can go wrong going wrong lately, I wake up today and I got a zit and I got Zombo hair. Yeah, guys, watch the Munsters?
Yeah.
Zombo.
That looks good on you.
I wish I had a brain. I look like the Scarecrow from. So, okay. I don't know how much. I don't have much to talk about tonight. Apparently, there were a lot of deaths this week. This month in particular. But thought maybe I'd talk a little bit about some of those if my computer will cooperate here. So we had Phil Robertson from
Duck Dynasty. Yes, I forgot. Yes. That's the one I couldn't remember.
Loretta Swit from MASH.
R.I.P. Hot Lips.
Yeah. I used to watch that show. I can remember one thing about MASH was one thing I will never forget about MASH. Yeah. When we went to school, when we were young, it's when I was a young kid, they didn't bring TVs into class much, But I remember for the season finale of MASH, they actually rolled in on a big cart. They rolled in a big color TV, and we actually I forget, did they videotape it or what, but we watched the season finale of MASH, and then we talked about it. That's how big that show was, at least around here, I guess, that it was a class discussion. But it was a good show. It was a good show.
Mhm.
I was a fan. I do have some stuff, maybe one of these days off to show off, but so let's see. Valerie Mahaffey passed away this week.
Who's she?
Well, let's see. I might as well, hold on. I almost ended the stream. So this is going to be good.
No.
Oh, no.
So hold on one second. I'm totally unprepared here. I've been having all kind of technical issues, and I'm rambling right now just so that there's not dead air. So if it doesn't make any sense, that's how professional I am. I'd rather look like a clown and have dead air. But hold on. I'm going to attempt to bring this up here without killing the stream off. So we'll do a little investigating as to who she was. When I saw her picture, I knew she looked familiar. Hold on. Where are we at?
Yeah. While you're waiting, DJ Play Nice is here. FETT for Hire is here. FKHC 2005.
FETT for Hire is here, man. They let anybody in here.
Yeah, some guy named King Dolphin TV.
Yo.
Sanders here.
Yeah, I was popping them up on the screen while we were kind of ranting there.
Yeah. And Slarty Bartfast.
Slarty Bartfast. That's a new one here. I don't think I've seen Slarty here before.
Yeah, I've seen him around a few places.
So I have a wicked delay, but the screen is now sharing, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It will be.
Yeah.
Mine always buffers before the picture comes up.
Okay. I think we're up. So Valerie Mahaffey death, Desperate Housewives star, dies age 71. So definitely didn't watch that show.
Wow.
But she was apparently on the Young Sheldon too. Now that's the Big Bang Theory, right? That's a spinoff of that. I'm only familiar with the Big Bang Theory because it's on sometimes at work. I never really watched the Young Sheldon show, but I did notice in continuing to read the article that she was in Seinfeld. I'm pretty sure she played one of George's girlfriends, one of George's many, many girlfriends. And I think that's where I knew her from. But not to get off on a side tangent here, but that's one of those weird things. You guys watch Seinfeld? You guys fans?
I've only seen one or two episodes.
Yeah, same here.
I love the show. I love the show. I think it's one of the funniest shows that's ever been on TV. But I have to say, and where I have a lot in common with George Costanza, what I think is funny about the character of George is, man, he got some of the hottest women. Totally not believable. You know what I mean? And I guess she was one of the many women that was one of his girlfriends on the show. But just trying to glance through real quick to see if it says, I don't believe there was a cause of death. Yeah. But 71, I mean, that's kind of young, but I mean, it was a...
That's a 70 years plus one. So,
yeah. So, I mean, while I have these up, might as well see if I can just jump over. Let's see this one here. Because this one I don't know. 60s psychedelic rock icon dies at 82, which again, that was a pretty long life. Mm-hmm. James Lowe of the Electric Prunes. You guys know the Electric Prunes?
I've familiar with the name. Not. Yeah, I don't remember the music at all.
I don't know it at all, but I know a lot of people come here that have diverse tastes in music, so I figured I'd share it. It's not one that I've really heard on YouTube recently. So there you go. If any fans of the Electric Prunes out there, apparently passed away. So what else we got?
A lot hit. A lot hit here.
Rick Derringer has passed.
Yeah, that's sad.
Lead singer of the McCoys. Yeah. Now, I don't know much. Of course, I know Sloopy Hang On. And what was the other big one? What was the other big one he had? Oh, geez.
Oh, God. No, I can't think of it.
Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo.
Yes.
Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo.
Great.
Now,
actually,
where I know him from is I was a diehard wrestling fan as a kid. And there was in the 80s there, they got very musical. And I remember Rick Derringer was heavily involved in that. Matter of fact, I think it even says here he did the Real American Hulk Hogan theme. And I remember they were doing videos back in the day and everything like that. So that's where I heard of him. And I think that was the first time I heard Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo. I think they played it on WWF. That was back then, way before the E. So way before they got the F out of here. But so that's where I know him from. And of course, I did the video this week on Phil Robertson. He's another one. He, like I said in my video, I wasn't the biggest Duck Dynasty fan. There was something I heard about the show for a while. The show was out for a long time. But I kind of, like I said in my video, I wasn't feeling great. And it came on TV, and I was just not feeling good enough to change the channel. So I ended up watching a few episodes. And from that day forward, I'd watch it on occasion. But I just shared this. I made the video on this just because of how MSN worded this here.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty low. Pretty low.
That's
that was not
total disrespect.
Yeah. And Loretta Swit was 87.
But still looks pretty good.
I think there was a hey. That was back then, but she definitely some hot lips there, right?
And cycles. Huge
this
cycles.
looks to be a more recent picture. Yeah.
Cool.
Not sure
the other place you've heard Rick Derringer, actually two places. He did the guitar solo on a Kiss album. I think it was Danger he did the solo on. And also, if you're an Edgar Winter fan or you've ever heard Edgar Winter's Frankenstein, that was him on guitar.
Okay, Frankenstein. Yeah.
If you ever see the video on YouTube, it's pretty awesome. It mostly centers on Edgar, but it gets everybody in the band in there, and it's just so cool. He was a fine guitar player.
Yeah, I love Frankenstein.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dragging the screen back over. All right, let's see. Tim said both hot lifts are dead now.
Yeah, Sally Kellerman was the other one, right?
Yeah.
And we got to see her circles.
Yeah, she was the one in the movie.
Oh, SP4H is here. It says, wait a minute, I'm blue. Yeah, last week, Carla Burton was here. And she suggested, since you're such a fine wrench, that I wrench you up. I thought she was supposed to tell you. I guess she didn't. Clearly, I didn't. But yeah, you wrenched up, man. Hope you're cool with it. Tim says, the 80s, which century, FETT?
Good question.
Talking to WWE music collaboration there? Or? Yeah, Hogan's theme. Well, the original. I think they redid it over the years and stuff, but I guess the original version he did.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. Maybe you prefer not to be associated with Hulk Hogan these days. I don't know.
I'm ambivalent about him.
I was never a Hulkamaniac, for sure. Never. Not at all. The only time I even remotely kind of liked the guy was NWO era, when it was Hollywood Hogan and he was that was okay. But I was never. It's weird because my dad had me into wrestling when I was really small. I mean, as far back as I can remember. I can remember and I can't believe I ever remember. I can't remember what I did 2 seconds ago sometimes, but I remember my dad and we loved this wrestler named Salvatore Bellomo when I was a little kid. This is little chubby little Italian guy. I don't even remember much about him, but I remember we liked him. We loved his matches and stuff. And then you had kind of the Hogan era came in with Andre the Giant and all those guys and stuff.
Randy Savage.
Randy Savage. I always preferred, so out of Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, I always kind of preferred Randy. And I always hated when they teamed up and they were friends. The only thing I took great satisfaction in knowing that eventually Macho Man was going to get mad at him, turn bad, stab him in the back. And I couldn't wait for that to happen. That was like my favorite thing that would happen with those two. But I can remember, I don't remember if I talked about it on the live stream here before or not, but very few times in my life did I ever jump out of my seat and cheer and do anything like that with anything sports related, especially wrestling, because even as a kid, I knew it was kind of scripted and kind of not real, you know?
Yeah.
But I remember, what was it, 91 or something, I think, when you had Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior squaring off at, what was it, WrestleMania 3 or something. And it was like good guy versus good guy. I was like, because it was kind of cool at the time. You never had that before. It was always a good guy and a bad guy. You know what I mean? And you had two guys kind of like, well, not that Hogan was necessarily at the top of his game. He was in it for a long time at that point, but he was the champion. And you had the Ultimate Warrior was the Intercontinental champion at the time. And I was a huge Warrior fan. Okay. They're like, if I could only pick two wrestlers, my top two wrestlers, it would always have to be Bret the Hitman Hart and the Ultimate Warrior. And when the Ultimate Warrior went up against Hulk Hogan, I remember watching at WrestleMania completely thinking Hogan's not going to lose to the Ultimate Warrior. You know, I mean, the Warrior already has a belt. It's not even going to be that great of a match, because as much as I loved the Ultimate Warrior, still love the Ultimate Warrior, he wasn't much of a ring technician, and neither was Hulk Hogan. So I knew it wasn't going to be that great of a match. But surprisingly, the match wasn't that bad. It definitely didn't stink. And at the end of it, when the Warrior actually won, I literally jumped out of my chair. And I was so happy because, well, it was what it was. Hulk Hogan actually passed the torch, and now the Ultimate Warrior kind of dropped the torch, but because of his dealings backstage and whatnot. But I thought it was going to be some great things for the Ultimate Warrior, and I was so glad that Hogan lost. I thought that was really cool. But Sandra says you're better than mediocre. I hope so. So somebody kind of might have said that I'm not very talented this week, but anyway. So Thunder Lips in Rocky 3.
Oh, no, that was for SB4H.
Oh, okay. Thunder Lips in Rocky 3 too. I actually just saw that this week, Rocky 3. Thunder Lips. Hulk Hogan cameo in Rocky 3. That was pretty good too. But he never, I don't know.
Thunder
I never
Lips
believed
meets Hot Lips.
Thunder Lips meets. Oh, that'd be something. Yeah, never a big proponent of saying my prayers and eat my vitamins, brother. Never really big on it.
My wrestlers were Rowdy Roddy, Bret the Hitman.
Yeah.
And really, that was about it.
Yeah.
I have an honorable mention. I love Scott Hall, the wrestler Scott Hall, too. He was, at one time, he was Razor Ramon in WWF. Matter of fact, I still have his shirt to this day. The only thing that prevents, and unfortunately Scott Hall passed away, but the only thing that prevents him from being right up there with Bret in the Warrior for me is the fact that he hung out with Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash is like a real dirtbag from everything I've seen. He controlled everything backstage and held a lot of guys down and stuff like that. So always in the back of my mind is I love Scott Hall, but then it's always back here. It's like, don't forget he was friends with Kevin Nash. So I don't know. Yeah,
the ones who impressed me was back in the 90s, mid 90s. Monday nights I go down to Clifford Fire Hall and we'd watch the wrestling there. And there were these two brothers. I think they were Mexican, but they were masked. And it was always the two of them in the ring against two other guys. And these guys were the most fantastic acrobatic wrestlers I've ever seen. I mean, it was just perfect the way they moved. And I cannot remember the names at all, but they impressed the living hell out of me. Just every move they did was fluid into the next one. And pretty impressive. But yeah, that was the era of Rowdy Roddy's comeback and Sting. And the whole NWO thing started, and I think that was between 95 and 97 or 98. No, that would have been
brings up the
94, 95, I think.
When the Warrior tried to come back to WCW. Yeah, see, that's how big a fan of Bret the Hitman Hart I am. I was a religious WWF fan, and even when Scott Hall jumped ship and went over, still kept watching because Bret was in WWF. But after the Montreal screw job, that's when I jumped ship and I started watching WCW. So I was watching WCW when the Warrior came back, and oh man, I was like, this is going to be great. Only to find out that was just Hogan's way of getting back at, having to lose to Warrior at WrestleMania. That whole match, that was a stinker. That was one of the biggest stinkers. Matter of fact, I think the only match that I thought was even worse than that one was when Brock Lesnar and Goldberg had their big match back in the day. That was, man, that one reeked 100 miles away. So, but
and I love Goldberg. Goldberg is good.
I used to love Goldberg. I liked Goldberg when he first came into wrestling. When he used to come down to the ring, he destroyed the guy in 2 seconds and walk back out. Then he started talking a little too much, I thought. And you all know I'm a huge Megadeth fan, but there was a point. I don't know if you guys remember. There was even a point where he was in a Universal Soldier movie, and one of the theme songs to that movie was a Megadeth song called "Crush 'Em." And Goldberg started coming out to the ring to that. As much as I love Megadeth, it didn't fit. It needed to be that military type music. And I don't know. Then I started losing interest in Goldberg. And there are two things in wrestling, two events that I consider my favorite two events that ever happened in wrestling. One, the Goldberg incident was when, so by this, his streak went on for way too long, right? And I knew it was going to come to an end. And I don't know if you guys remember, but he was feuding with Bret Hart at the time. He was feuding with my guy. And so at one of the pay-per-views or something, those two were having a match, and Scott Hall and Kevin Nash actually came down and interfered, and Scott Hall zapped Goldberg with a cattle prod.
Ooh.
And yes, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, so Bret Hart won. So I love that because, again, I was already sick of Goldberg at that point, and I was just extremely happy that Bret won and kind of technically broke the streak. Now, the reason why in real life, as cool a guy as Goldberg seems to be, where, he does charity things for kids and all that stuff, that's one thing. Bill Goldberg is a big, giant prick because he ended Bret Hart's career. Because what I've seen many wrestlers who talk about Goldberg is he can't tell the difference between a fake fight and a real fight. When he goes into that ring, he's so psyched up and full of himself, he really hurts people. And that's bad. That's not good. He is one of the shittiest professional wrestlers that has ever wrestled, because where someone like Bret Hart prides himself on wrestling for 40 something years, and he never really hurt anybody. Yeah. Goldberg he's just a big dumb animal when he gets in the ring, and he does hurt people. He doesn't, he can't separate
that ain't good
from reality. And so he's a very shitty wrestler. Very shitty wrestler. I don't believe he should be in the Hall of Fame. All of that stuff. What the hell? Hold on.
Yeah.
No, he says hail FETT for Hire and friends.
Hey Gary.
What's going on, Gary?
How do you, Gary?
Yeah, what's going on, brother? He's
awesome.
SP Force said, the Warrior match didn't turn out so well. No, not at all. He also said Ricky Steamboat was good. Steamboat was all right. I was, like I said, back in that era when you had Ricky Steamboat, I was still a Bret Hart fan. You remember he was with Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and they were the Hart Foundation. So I was always kind of on the Bret bandwagon. And matter of fact, so I alluded to a little bit ago how there were two events that are like my favorite two events in professional wrestling history. The one was Bret beating Goldberg and ending the streak. The other one was also included Bret Hart. So you had the feud between Bret Hart and Owen Hart. I didn't like that from day one. I didn't like that they were feuding. And the thing of it was I knew how it was going to end, at least in my mind. I knew how professional wrestling worked. I knew how it was going to end. What was going to happen was they were going to fight for way longer than they had to. And eventually Owen was going to turn good, because in the feud, of course, Bret was he was the baby face, the good guy, and you had Owen was the heel. So
Yeah.
Owen was going to turn good, and they were going to hug, and they were going to be a tag team of good guys, and this, that, and no. That's not what happened.
Mhm.
I got exactly what I wanted to happen. Brett turned bad. He joined Owen, and not only were they sort of a tag team, but the Hart Foundation was reunited with everybody from like the Hart family. You had the British Bulldog was involved, Davey Boy Smith, Jim Neville Neidhart, Owen, Brett, and then you had Brian Pillman, who was trained by Stu Hart up there in the dungeon in Calgary. So, and they were all bad guys, and they wore the leather jackets with the skull and the pink and black, and that was another unprecedented thing that happened with Bret Hart that a lot of people don't talk about very much. But at that particular era, you had Bret became like the biggest heel in the world in the United States. But like everywhere else, he was still a hero. Especially in Canada. And it was funny because they would tape an episode of Raw here, and he came out to all the boos, and he's saying all this derogatory stuff, and then he'd be in, a week or two later, they'd be in Canada, and he's coming out to cheers, and it was funny because he said one of the coolest things I ever heard. And one, everybody talks about the Rock's promos and Hulk Hogan's promos, but Gary says, "Yeah, have a good show, guys. Thanks a lot,
Take
Gary.
care, brother.
Yeah, much
Take care, Gary.
Much appreciated." But yeah, so during this time period where Bret's a heel in this country, he's walking down with the Canadian flag every episode and everything, and he's saying all kind of derogatory things about the country, our country. And they were actually in Pittsburgh. I remember this, my home state, right? So it doesn't bug me at all. He said, he said, the United States needs an enema, and if where they need to stick, how did he say it? The United States needs an enemy. You know where they would stick the hose? Right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I thought that was like the funniest thing, man. It's like, I don't care. You can knock my state, but it was cool.
Yep.
I enjoyed it. But that's now as big a fan. I used to go to many events, televised, non-televised. I was in the first time I saw Scott Hall was at my local high school. My brother actually got me and my dad tickets for Father's Day. My son was just born, and he treated us to that, and totally went there hoping to get a Bret Hart t-shirt or something, even though Bret wasn't scheduled to be there. But Scott Hall was the main event. Razor Ramon, he was a Razor Ramon at the time, was the main event. So as much as I had my heart set on that Hitman shirt, when I saw Scott Hall in person, you guys have no idea how gigantic that man was. I mean, his arms were like tree trunks, right? I guess just everybody else in wrestling is even that much bigger that he didn't appear that way, but he was huge. And I was impressed that day by Scott Hall. So I bought myself a Razor Ramon shirt. To this day, I still have it. I still hung on to it.
Oh, cool.
Sentimental about it, because it was also, my brother and my dad are no longer with me. So it was a special day, so I hung on to the shirt. But
yeah, definitely.
So anyway, man, I totally didn't plan on talking about wrestling tonight, but that's one of those things that happens, I guess.
There you go.
But
I guess Gary had to take off, but
man, it was cool that he stopped in, though, man.
Yeah, great seeing him.
Cool. Yeah. Yep. Now, hopefully, if Andy's going to stop in, I hope Andy stops in soon too, because man, we were just going off. I just hit end stream last week when I heard Carla say Andy's in the chat. I was like, oh man. But I hope Andy's all right too. I haven't heard from Andy the last couple of days.
Andy, he was on Frolics last night, but didn't say much.
Yeah. Hope everything's all right. Thinking about you, Gary. Or I mean, Gary's
Andy.
By Andy.
Yep.
But so okay. I might as well continue. John, I know we were kind of talking earlier. Maybe I shouldn't go this route, but I'm just going to gloss over this real quick. Continuation from the Bruce Springsteen, crap.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I'm going to end this stream yet. But
careful.
Yeah, I'm like totally. I'm so out of it. It's like, I swear to God, just for the record, everybody, I wasn't drinking or anything. That's how I've been the last 2 days. I'm so out of it. I debated on if I should even do this tonight, but want to keep up the consistency.
Yeah,
we demand consistency.
I demand consistency. You know what? One of these days, we're gonna have to do like the Cosme thing, right? Because I have the movie Shock 'Em Dead. We're gonna have to do that Cosme thing. I'm gonna have to share that with everybody. We're all gonna have to watch the movie Shock 'Em Dead one day. It's like some of the biggest cheese to come out of the '80s and stuff like that, but it's worthy cheese. It's worthy watchable cheese. Yep. So,
like how what was that movie? Super Fuzz.
I remember that one way back.
Yeah.
It was exploitations.
Yeah, it was just silly, stupid, cheesy, fun.
It's probably right up. It might even be cheesier than that movie.
Yeah.
That was one of those movies. I think we were just talking about King Dolphin not that long ago. I brought that up, and then I actually found it was free here on YouTube, and I watched it, and it was.
Yeah. That
one is like a weird movie that it wasn't at all what I even remembered, really, to see it again.
Yeah.
It was in some ways even more cheese than I remembered it. But I don't know. Shock 'Em Dead's real cheese. Real cheese. But okay, so I'm assuming the screen is up. So what we have here, okay, just to continue along with my Bruce Springsteen, all this crap, all these washed up kind of fellas who are coming out of the woodwork, having their 2 cents on what happened with Springsteen. So the Bono sparks mega backlash after Joe Rogan appearance. So, well, that's not even the only thing. He actually appeared on the Jimmy Kimmel show. So I saved the wrong clip, the wrong article here. But he actually appeared on the Jimmy Kimmel show, which is another shit show. But what he said on there was he was asked point blank, whose side you on? Are you on Springsteen's or are you on the other side? And he said right out that, well, there's only one boss in the United States. Well, that's 100% true. I never thought I'd agree with Bono, but that boss ain't Bruce Springsteen.
Yep.
But apparently he was on here, and he's come under fire from supporters of who, the president movement, after citing an academic. See, I can't read. Who said the administration's cuts to the U.S. Agency for International Development (USAID) may have been a factor in 300,000 deaths. I get where these people are coming from. The thing of it is I feel like they're getting paid to say these things. A lot of these people are people like Bono, Bruce Springsteen, guys who are well past their prime, really haven't had any hits in decades. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, why are they still relevant even?
Well, this is the thing, is to get them relevant with the college kids.
Yeah, I guess that's it. No, that would explain why, why this guy was on the Jimmy Kimmel show, because college kids were about the only people that watch that show.
Yep.
But like I said, this stuff has to stop. Like, I'm just tired of hearing about it. Just keep your mouth shut. Let's just, you know what I mean? We got a couple more years of this presidency. Okay. I don't see how it could possibly be worse than the last one. So just how about stop alienating people? Yeah. Especially your fans, because I'm sure there are fans of this guy, that support our current president. So why don't you just keep socking it for now? Because listen, if there was ever, I keep saying, I said, Bruce Springsteen was overrated. I mean, personally, I feel the same way about this guy. I mean, this guy has no range at all, right? And if you're going to talk about guitar players, John, let's talk guitar players. The Edge. I often joke around and I say, if you took the wah pedal away from Kirk Hammett, he wouldn't have anything in his arsenal. Well, if you took the bottom 2 strings off of the Edge's guitar, what does he have? Do you know what I'm saying?
Basically nothing.
Exactly.
And I remember him playing with the EBO way back when they started. And it's like, what is that? It's annoying.
So I'm just going to jump down real quick so we can just get off this topic. But so we had this guy too. As long as we're talking about highly, highly overrated people. Okay. Tom Morello slams the T-Man and Ice. Right? You can see his guitar there.
Yeah.
So I never got Rage Against the Machine. Okay, so I'm a little biased there. To me, it's noise. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm not a Tom Morello fan. I never was. So, but to have something like this on your guitar, okay, here's the thing. There are a lot of people, okay, 71 million people the last time I checked, that want the border to be safe, that want our family and friends and our children to be safe.
Yeah.
So when you hold up a sign like this, even if you're playing your guitar with your teeth, which has been done many a time before,
Yeah.
right, you're making a statement to me that's pretty crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not saying F ICE. You're saying F me, F my kids, F my family, F my friends, because we just want everybody crossing this border and, the shenanigans to continue. So why they do this stuff? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Again, to be popular with the college kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, their publicists tell them that and tell them what to say because it generates controversy. Well, controversy generates attention, and that generates sales and popularity.
See, then it leads into this too. Of course, we got to go. Bruce is going after Trump because his whole life he's been about truth, justice, democracy, equality, and Trump is mad at him because Bruce draws a bigger audience. F that guy. He does? Bruce draws a bigger audience?
No.
Really? I mean, I got to be honest. I haven't really watched a Bruce Springsteen concert, ever. But I don't know. I guess if he says so, it must be true. It's on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But all right.
That's the thing. I've never been a fan of Springsteen, really.
No, me either.
Yeah.
What did I see? I saw a comment here. SP4 says, I liked Rage Against the Machine a lot better when they picked up Chris Cornell and became Audio Slave. I heard that album once. I remember years ago when I came out, a friend of mine got me to listen to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just not really. I get it. I was never really a huge Chris Cornell fan either,
Yeah.
Voice is decent. Soundgarden.
Yeah, I love his voice. And there's one or two songs along the way that I liked. Fell on Black Days was one of them. But, the rest of it, I guess it's what some people like.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not knocking you. If you like it, that's great. It was never my cup of tea. But there's a lot of that stuff, a lot of that era, that I don't get. And maybe it's because I'm getting older and I was getting older at the time, but I like a lot of newer stuff too. Like I like bands like Killswitch Engage and stuff like that, well, I guess they're not even all that new now, but but there was this part in the middle there where there were bands like Rage Against the Machine, Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, all that stuff right there. I don't get it. I don't get it. There was a song here or there that was kind of all right, but and I guess out of all of them, I guess Zombie was okay, I guess, but
more human than human was interesting, at least.
That was okay. I dig Dragula.
Don't get me started on Marilyn Manson. It'll be a 4-hour rant. I have no use for him, and I'll be very nice and leave it there.
The only thing that I ever even kind of remotely liked of his, and I don't know if I liked it or I just liked that it was on wrestling, going back to wrestling. There for a while, WWE's SmackDown used The Beautiful People was their opening theme. So I think that's the only, and I know he covered Sweet Dreams, I think, by the Eurythmics, right?
Yeah.
I think Marilyn Manson did that. It's about all I know from him. So
he's done some things that to me are very objectionable and just wrong. But again, I'm not going to go into the long thing. But the guy's got several screws loose, definitely.
No. I think you got to have a couple of screws loose to be a celebrity anyway. But I don't know. He started out. I remember the imagery. I remember seeing imagery of Marilyn Manson. I mean, there was nothing wrong with his look in the beginning. I thought, it's almost like he could have went on to good things. It's just musically, I don't know. I never got the music.
Yeah.
Kind of like I never got Springsteen's music. I never got U2's music.
Well, U2 was basically just protest music.
Yeah.
In the beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, your Sunday Bloody Sunday, stuff like that. That I kind of almost even, okay. It's okay, I guess. But then, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you how much I didn't like Bono and U2 was when their songs would come on, I would be begging for the radio station to start playing some Duran Duran. Please, God, Duran Duran, anything. Thomas Dolby.
Well, I know there's a lot of people in our community, Doomcock and Trudy, who dig Duran Duran, but I never got Duran Duran either. What the hell?
They're actually not a bad band. They're just a little too poppy and glammy for my taste.
No, did Trike just howl?
Yes, he did.
Oh, he's a Duran Duran fan.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know if that was Trike.
That was Trike.
Like Bruce Springsteen got into the building, or
no, that was Trike.
Wow.
Hey, Andy Masterson.
Hey, there he is.
Speaking
of the devil.
Hey, yeah.
I'm glad everything's cool, Andy. We were worried about you.
Yeah, Andy.
Cool. Billy Idol. Billy Idol was all right. I've been okay. So I haven't. Has anybody checked out his new album? I know a guy at work keeps trying to get me to listen to it, and he said it ain't the Billy Idol of old. I haven't checked it out. Any of you guys?
Well, everybody gets old. I haven't seen it, but I understand he's still with Steve Stevens.
Yes, Steve Stevens,
fine guitar player.
I have recently, just in the last couple of days, there's a lot of like John. I'm sure you know all these like gear rig rundowns and stuff here on YouTube and everything. Yeah. So I've been watching all of that. Yo, he still has, from what I understand, okay, I think it's in the solo to Rebel Yell. He has that really out of this world sound. Mm-hmm. Well, I was created with a ray gun, like a toy ray gun. Yeah. And I was just watching a clip, I guess a concert, just maybe this week even, where Billy Idol, during the solo, Billy Idol came out with that ray gun and presented it to him so he could do that sound to the pickup in his guitar in a solo for Rebel Yell. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, because I remember the article in Guitar Player magazine where he described how they did that, and I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. Oh, Andy's on his way to the gym.
Ah.
All right, man. Safe travel. Safe work.
Take care. Take care, Andy. Man.
Absolutely. That's before he said, I guess he meant Manson was being too serious. I don't know. I remember there was a phase there. Wasn't there a phase where he kind of did that whole thing where he had boobs and there was a weird phase there, and then he kind of disappeared for a long time or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, not my cup of tea at all.
Not for
me. I have no. I don't like Manson. I don't think I've ever heard any of his music.
You ever heard Beautiful People?
No.
Yeah. You haven't missed anything. But really. Give me Queensryche any day over them.
No, give me Queensryche over almost anyone.
Great band. When Chris DeGarmo was with them anyway.
I was gonna say they lost something when Chris DeGarmo left.
Yeah. Well, that last tour for Here in the Now Frontier, we saw that up in Scranton on Montage Mountain. And it was a good show, but you could tell Jeff Tate was pissed off. I didn't really see much of Rockenfield's face, but he didn't look happy. Mike Wilton, he never has any emotion in his face. And Chris DeGarmo had already cut his hair off because you know how he used to have the real long hair with the cowboy hat. Gone. Yeah. Yellow t-shirt, white cargo shorts, and the one or two or three of the usual guitars. But it was, they did well with the show, but Jeff Tate was really pissed. And it was not the sold out crowd he wanted. And there was the one stage prop. It was an inflatable ear, and it looked like an intestine. And he was ragging on that all night. But still, it was an impressive show. And Eddie
They had
Jackson
sounds
seemed
like
to
they
be
had
the only one having fun.
Sound like they had a Spinal Tap moment.
Mm,
Here, the stage prop, faulty stage prop.
yep.
I never cared for that Here and the Now Frontier.
Yeah, that was a terrible album. You know,
Well,
give me Empires, give me the Mind Crime album. You know, even Rage for Order, The Warning. Those were great albums.
yeah. Well, you know what they should have never done? Operation Mindcrime 2.
Yeah,
Because it
Yeah,
definitely didn't live up to the first one at all.
yeah, and you know, I understand why Ronnie Dio got in on that one and did a part, but it really didn't help him much. It really didn't help them much.
Real quick, DJ Play Nice, he got to roll out and panel up for a show. Thanks for hosting. You betcha, buddy.
Hey, take care, man.
Brother. Sorry I haven't been to Life at a Party tonight. This week totally blew. But it says, y'all be safe, have fun, carry your you know what, and rock.
Yep.
Carry your guns. Yeah.
You know what there is of it.
Yeah.
Most people got magnums. I got 22 shorts.
Yeah. I need to start taking better care of myself.
Yeah. I would, but it's too much work.
That's true.
It's never too late. I go every day, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
4 miles on the stationary bike.
Oh,
and
wow.
Maybe get some weight work in.
That's what I gotta start doing, man.
Cool.
Maybe I'll be so miserable all the time.
Yeah, I can't do the weights because of my back, but I don't know. I haven't tried doing the bicycle thing in, let's see, how long ago was the 1980s?
It was yesterday, John. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, 40.
Like,
Yeah.
But no, actually, about 2005, I did buy a bicycle and tried to ride it and found out, yes, you do forget how to ride a bike.
Really? Wow.
I was all over the place.
I have a bunch of bikes in my basement. One of these days I should break one out.
Yeah.
I still love riding bike when I was younger.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that was the big thing when I was a kid was, you know, everybody on their bikes going everywhere on their bikes.
Mm-hmm.
And back in those days, none of this namby-pamby helmet crap.
Oh,
man.
You know.
Well, you know, I think I may have told you this story before, but I broke my whole face on a bike, right? I ever tell you guys that?
Yeah.
12 years old, riding down to my buddy's house, man. We weren't even a half a mile away from my house, and he cut my wheel out from under me, and I face planted the road, man. I never had a broken bone or anything wrong with my teeth or stitches or anything. Did it all in one day. All in one day. Broke my whole face. I had my jaw wired shut. Yeah. You know, I got right back on the bike, though. It was one of those things that could keep me off the bike. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
I kept riding.
Yeah, because I ended up in a ditch that they were digging for a new sewer and fell into that, tore up my right arm, something fierce, and I didn't scream or cry or anything until Mother put the merthiolate on it.
Ooh.
Oh, my God. That will wrench your soul out from you. Pain like I never heard of.
Wow.
But, yeah. I just get the biggest kick out of this, you know, with the kids riding bikes with helmets. I mean, come on. That's a little too much. And you can't ride on the sidewalk anymore. We were never allowed to ride on the road. You had to ride on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
You know, until we got older and we said, screw it, we're going on the road. You know? How things have changed.
Yeah.
Well, John,
yes,
we've been talking for a while about maybe showing off some of your guitars. Them guitars and basses that you got there.
Let's see.
You think you up for showing some of them things off?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Can't get the camera over that far, but hang on. All right.
Hold on, guys. Yes.
Uh-oh.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Can't tell the back was much too long.
Okay.
What?
What? Who?
Huh.
What? Where? When?
Nothing.
All right. This one I think you're all familiar with is Dirty Diane.
Yeah.
Which this
Telly.
was, well, telecopy traced from an actual telly onto a hunk of wood that I got from Gene Matisco, who is one of the finest luthiers in the world. And he was in Scranton, strangely enough. He's the one that made Eddie Van Halen's highly decorated and inlaid acoustic guitar. And he gave me the wood for this back in the 90s. And this was the first guitar body that I ever made. And the cover plate in the center here with the pickups is hiding a lot of mistakes and sins. But I finally got around to finishing it, for those who haven't seen King Dolphin when I showed it. But I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to shave the neck down a little bit because it's a little bit like the old Les Pauls with the baseball bat neck. But
Now that was that a Flying V headstock I saw there?
Yep. Oh, that was the other subtitle for this, was the Fibson Telecaster, because it's a fib to call it a Fender or a Gibson. So, yeah. Let me find something here. Can you hear that okay?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
I still got to do a little adjustment on the action and the intonation, but it has a nice sound for what it is. G. Yeah, G. Always works better when you play the G. What's that song that Raymond hates? Yeah. Lucky Man, something like that. I don't remember it offhand, but it's the same three chords all the way through. But yeah, that one has a nice little sound to it. And let me see. It's got a little chunk to it. My fingers would only work. Yeah. But that's good old Dirty Diane. Still, as I say, some adjustment to do, but you'll have this.
Very nice.
Let me get the other one. Hang on a second. Let me put this up. Okay.
I like that snazzy hat he has in the background there. Uh-oh. I see a Fender headstock.
Mm-hmm. And let's see. This is the Granite Caster from Squire Fender. And that started out as a sunburst. And I don't know how clearly you can see it in this, but that has a
Texture.
special textured paint from, I think it was not Krylon, the other one, Rust-Oleum. And it has a kind of granite finish to it, so I called it the Granite Caster. Let me see. Oh.
Probably don't have to worry about fingerprints on that
True, except on the plastic.
Pick guard.
Yeah, why am I trying to do open chords? Let's see. Take that down one or two. A little dusty in the switch, but that's an easy fix. That's got the Seymour Duncan Performer pickup. And let me see.
Is that a humbucker?
Yeah, that's in the front position, and then the 2 stock pickups that came with it. But again, it's nice sounding. Let me get it down to.
I'm glad you're a man that doesn't mind having a humbucker. People had always commented on mine because the only Strat I have has a humbucker and has a DiMarzio in the bridge. And, it's not a real Stratocaster. Sure it is. Nice.
Just a little chorus on there. Still trying to figure out this Vox Tone Lab after 10 years. There we go. I was smart. I tuned up before I actually came on this time. So that's that one. And I'm pretty happy with it. It does well enough. Yeah. Let's see if I can remember this. Yeah. It has been a long time. I should start practicing more, but I don't have the time yet. So
yeah, that's something I need to do.
Well, that's the thing, and with the neuropathy in the left hand, it's kind of tough because these 2 fingers I can't really feel a whole lot. All right, put that one back up.
You gotta watch, man. You were looking a little like Steel Panther there, John.
Yeah, let's see. Who's next? Oh, we'll try this one.
Apparently,
Guys,
sounds kind of like some
got it.
electrical interference.
Yeah, I'm here.
That's
Yeah,
that cord again. The microphone cord gets too close to the printer and it does that pitty patty sound. But this is my the Dean bass.
Oh, the Dino.
Yeah, this
Is that
one
the
I love.
PodCon bass?
Yep,
PodCon bass.
yep.
Yeah.
And this one I really like because it's one of the best playing basses I ever had and one of the best sounding. That was the one we were fiddling with at PodCon.
Hmm.
And yeah. You know what that is?
Play it again. Oh yeah, John, you're killing me.
Smoke on the water. Smoke on the water.
Oh, John knows what he's doing.
Yep. And that was
Or should I say, he sure knows something.
easy as it seems. Yeah, I screwed that one up. That's sure knows something.
Nice.
You know, and yeah, how does that go? Well, that's one of the songs I never wanted to hear again. Rock and roll all night.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hi, Carla. She wants you to email her the link.
Oh, yeah, never sent. All right, check it out. Anybody else having trouble? Well, John, you wouldn't know. Anyone else having trouble sending DMs on X?
No.
No? I don't know, man. I'm having issues for a couple of weeks now. It's like it'll say like I'll click on my messages and it'll just be the boxes will be empty. There'll be nothing there, and I'll have to refresh it. Then I have to refresh it again. Then sometimes the stuff doesn't send when I thought it's okay. She got it now.
Ah, cool. All right, but that's my nice little black beater bass, and I've had a lot of fun with that. Again, I'm way out of practice, and I probably shouldn't be sitting down to play, but you know, I'm old.
Got you.
So
shame there's this lag thing and all that. We can't just jam. That'd be so nice if we could just jam together. You're making me want to play.
Oh yeah.
Might have to break. I happen to have a guitar sitting right here.
Yeah. One of these days we'll do that. I'll have to get down there and bring that chair with me too. And let's see, who's next? Oh. All right.
Dot is off into the work environment.
Oh my!
What you got first now, John? Uh-oh. Is that another Dean?
Yep. I had a thing going for Deans for a while, and their price was right. They played well. This one, the action's a little high, but not as bad as it could be.
gun.
Yep.
Not here on YouTube. No, you don't.
Mm.
Oh, you said Peter. I thought you said you need it.
No.
No, Peter gun.
My favorite Fleetwood Mac song, The Chain.
Now, John, do you have an effect on that amp?
Yeah, I'm using the Vox Tone Lab. I've got it on a chorus right now. And maybe 2 or 3 other things. I'm not sure. I haven't figured this thing out completely since I got it. There's an expression pedal on it that doesn't work. But other than that, it's a pretty good pedal. Let me see.
Uh-oh. Carla Burton in the house.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Carla.
Hey, Carla.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
hear you.
Cool. Okay. I'm just Googling where I have to go. Okay. Oh, there's music.
That's Brother John. Get some tunes by Brother John while you're driving.
Okay, cool. Okay. And how long you on for today, Fett?
Not long. Maybe
Oh,
another
yeah.
hour or so.
Okay. That's cool. Sorry, I just couldn't do anything before now.
Oh, that's cool.
I've got a nice big 4-hour drive.
All of us here have been in an agreement that this week totally sucked, so we're just kind of hanging out.
Oh, why?
Yeah,
Because we're not in New Zealand where the weather's nice and there's a beach.
Yeah, there are a lot of beach. I went to a beach this week. It was quite glorious. Even though it's autumn.
Yeah. But
this weather here is crazy, man. It's like it was nice yesterday, so I washed my car, and of course, starting last night, it's been doing nothing but raining, and it's like currently in the 50s here.
Mm-hmm. This is June,
Yeah,
or this will be June in 2 hours.
yeah. It's like make up your mind, you know.
well, it snowed in July here before. Of course, that was back in the 50s. Boy, is that nasally. That one's better. Quieter.
I'm going to see my grandchildren soon. Tomorrow. My other grandchildren. So
Cool.
that's
You
quite
have other
exciting.
grandchildren?
And then more on the way.
Oh, good
Being
Lord.
delivered the second half of the year. So
Wow.
I already know I'm having another little boy. To a family who has boys, and then we'll see what the other side brings me.
You're going to have a hell of a Christmas list.
Yeah, it does get big. That's all right. Keep me busy.
Yep. But that's the Dean. Semi-acoustic, because it does plug in.
Does it play? Oh yeah, that's cool.
And let's
How do
see.
those things work? How do those things work if, like, they're acoustic but they plug into a speaker? It's just louder?
Well, there's under the bridge. There's a what they call a piezo pickup. Let me get this so you can see it that way. Under the bridge here is where that piezo pickup is, and it picks up the vibration of the strings, and then you just plug it in like a normal guitar with the jack.
Yeah.
And then there's a set of tone controls up on the top there. I don't know if you can see. There they are.
Oh yeah, I see them. Yep.
Yeah. But it's been a good friend for a long time. Again, I'm way the hell out of practice, but you know, I still jam along with a few things here and there just for fun.
But electric guitars are obviously the most like people play the most.
Not really. I never had the money to go into the really expensive stuff. Most of
Yeah.
what I pick up is below $250, except
Oh,
for
wow.
the last one I'll show you. Well, I'll show you that one now.
Oh,
This
John's
is-
breaking out the big guns.
Uh-huh.
This is the heavy big baby. This
Uh-huh.
Les
is
Paul.
my Epiphone Les Paul Black Beauty, rewired with lipstick tube pickups and all chrome hardware, because the gold was just so faded, and I like the silver and black. That works for me very nicely.
Very John Sykesy.
Yeah.
Suburban. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna check my tires.
I love
Oh.
that. And the action is
I lo-
just butter. I love it.
Mm,
But,
sounds great.
Sorry, didn't want to blow anybody's head off there. But hang on just a second. Let me get something here. Stay.
Man,
fight
John's
up.
making me want to jam. Old Man Bird says that's a lot of pickups.
No, you don't.
Oh, welcome, Old Man Bird, too, by the way.
Where did I put it?
That was a lot of pickups, sir. I shouldn't talk to. I have a bunch of Ibanez that have 2 humbuckers and a single coil in them.
Oh.
Like, never use the single coil in the middle. But it's nice to know it's there. You know what I mean? Nice to know it's there. Man, I'm jealous, Carla. You got a nice day there. Oh, Carla's muted.
Oh, there it is. Sitting right out in front of me. Be right back.
Okie dokie. Meanwhile, we'll watch some New Zealand. Some New Zealand.
The car video.
Yes, Carla, you should do your own YouTube channel. And
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm putting air in my tire. I'm at the garage checking my tires for my big trip. So you get to see the North Shore skyscape.
well, it's a beautiful sky, man. I wish we had that here. I'm like living vicariously through you right now.
Yeah, we are. It's the best place in the world. I love it.
We're in the 50s and raining here.
With some tornadoes.
Oh, what?
Tornado warning.
Dang.
There was actually a water spout on the Potomac.
Wow. Hello, tires.
Old Man Bird says, nice to know it's there, middle pickup. Yeah. It's like my security pickup. You know what I mean? Although, like I've always said, I always wanted a destroyer in my collection, and I'd really, really like to have a Phil Collin from Def Leppard model with the 3 humbuckers. So,
Can I just say that I checked my car for oil and I didn't have to put oil in it, and now I'm doing my tires and I have stuff for water. So I'm like full deal, man.
whoa.
Ugh.
Carla Burton sighting.
Oh, that is low. Oh, I know what's happened.
We got a low tire there, Carla.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Hang on, almost. I just want them even. Come on, baby. Oh.
Now, does your car have the tire pressure monitoring system in it? You know, it tells you digitally.
Nah.
No.
No, it's just like I have to go to the station and like what do you call it? Well, it might be, yeah, my dad has one, but I'm like, oh, I'll just do it at the bloody gas station. I don't care.
I have that in my car, and sometimes it drives me nuts because I'm kind of like you. I kind of like want the tires to be even, but I don't know. It seems like
Yeah,
changing the temperature and everything, one's lower than the other, and I don't know. It drives me nuts.
yeah. I can't even find the thing to this one. What the heck?
Oh,
Why
John's
can't I
back.
find it?
Yes, I found my strap. I couldn't find any picks. So I'm
you're
going
less prepared
Brian,
than I am.
Brian May
Oh,
style.
you're Brian Man it.
Yeah.
Can't find the last thing. Oh well.
Yeah.
Three out of four.
Hmm. Carla, you having issues?
Sorry.
Are you having issues?
Hang on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. I just don't know what to do. Okay. I couldn't find my last vowels. I'm like, oh well. 3 out of 4. What? 2 out of 3 ain't bad. No, 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
You lost your valve.
I don't know. I can't find it on my tire.
I hate when I misplace my valves. Too. I hate when that happens.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait till I'm with my son-in-law. He can fix that. Probably.
It's on
like,
the road again.
Yeah.
What you got for us, Brother John?
Hang on.
You know what, Fed? If you drip fed your guitars if you drip fed your guitars one a week, you'd have a whole year's worth of
Yeah.
rest of the year's worth of content.
Nah, I don't have that many.
You do. You have over 30.
Well, I have about 10, 15 in parts right now.
Any plans?
You said you have like 33 or something?
At one point, yeah, I had over 40.
Wow,
And
nice.
then,
Whoa!
the second collection was about 15 plus a lot of old parts. Yeah.
Where did you keep them all?
Oh, some on the wall, some over there, some on stands. This one I keep in its case because it's got a case. Plus, this is the baby of the collection. I just love that sound.
Yeah, good.
Do you happen to know what for pickups are in that thing?
What's that?
Do you know what pickups are in that thing?
Yeah, they're Earl Slick lipstick tube pickups. And I don't know if his store is still online or not. It was Guitar Fetish. And the great thing about these is you solder one part to the pots and the control area, and then it plugs into the actual pickup. So you're not having to wrestle with not being able to or having to do the soldering in the cavity with the pickup in place, which is always a pain, especially in a Les Paul because it's a deep cavity from the back. So that made it really easy. But I was surprised. They're a little more jangly than the usual pickups. And of course, the third one, I don't know if you can hear the change there, but that one dials in from one of the tone controls I'm now using as a volume. I just have a master tone. And then, of course, that's the neck pickup, which that's got a nice fat sound to it also. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun over the years. Like I say, way out of practice. but I've had a lot of fun with this. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I know where you're going.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever
Very
the next
good.
bit is. But, you know, again, I wish my hands worked better. But
I know that
yeah,
feeling.
she's a nice little piece. Let's see if we can get back down to that one. A nice little jangly soft tone.
Almost sounds like an acoustic.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I love about it, I don't know if you can see it, but the action is so close to the frets, it's unbelievable.
It looks super low.
You know, and I've always liked that. That was when
That's a chunky neck for me, though, man. Chunky neck.
Oh yeah, it's not quite as fat as the one on Dirty Diane, but you know, it feels good in the hand. And surprisingly, you know, with all the finish that they put on Les Pauls, you'd think it would cause some problems with, you know, skidding or sticking. This thing is nice and smooth. Ooh.
Well, you're talking. I'm used to look at that.
Yeah. Wow.
That's a wizard, man. That's a wizard prestige neck. You're talking thin. You're talking nothing there, man.
Yep.
Wide this way, thin this way. That's what I'm used to. That's my
Now,
texture.
is that a 7 or a 6?
This is a 6.
Awesome.
6 string. That's my textured.
Oh yeah.
My Goldie.
Yeah, I see what you mean about the green. That's awesome.
Color is actually called Vital Gold, but it is more green. So that's why I grabbed it.
Yeah. Oh. I wonder if I'm playing that backwards. It's been a while. Something. Anywho, that's that one. And again, I should go back into practicing more and trying to get the feeling back in my hands. But for all in all, that's the best Les Paul I've ever played. And well, second best. I had a Greco many years ago that I didn't know what it was, but it was a great guitar, and it ended up getting traded for a bass amp.
I'd be so tempted to put a mirror pickguard on that thing, man.
Yeah, if I could find
John
one.
Sykes.
Yeah, but she's a nice piece. Again, another reason I want to get back into playing is just to play this thing. But it is heavy. This thing's got to be 13 pounds.
Oh, I bet. It's probably mahogany in it.
It's mahogany with the maple cap, just like the real ones. I mean, the only real difference is the headstock. You know, this doesn't have the open book headstock like a Gibson would.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the standard Epiphone, but, you know, she served me well. One of these days I'll have to break out the tapes from back in Palmerton. I recorded a lot of stuff on this. Well, that theme song, this is one of the guitars that's on that. But,
Oh, and the intro video there.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Song called Black Vendetta. In fact, that's what I should name this one, is Black Vendetta.
There you go.
All right. One more to go.
All right. Well, John, doing that, we'll bring Carla back up. See some of that there beautiful New Zealand footage.
But a cloud, you can't see that unusual volcano we can see because it's raining over it.
Hmm.
Rangy Toto. So are you going to show us one of your guitars, Fit?
I can. I happen to have one right here.
Show it. Here's one I prepared earlier.
And John is kind of making me want to play.
Yeah, play yours. Make yourself big.
Okay.
I'm going to wait. John's back.
Okay.
I'm going to bring John back up.
Hello.
Hello.
And this is just
Hello.
my beater, Aria. I think I paid 120 for this one.
Oh, man.
It's been a nice piece.
I should have broke out my 7-string. I have a 7-string Ibanez RG. Has like that same red burst finish like that.
Really?
Yeah, it has like a, I think it's quilted maple, flame maple top. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, this one's all covered with dust and nicks and scratches and old strings. I think these strings are about 3 years old. But it's just something I sat around during Friday night frolics a lot playing with this thing.
I think the strings on my acoustic are even older than that. I barely touch my acoustic. Matter of fact, a couple of videos on my channel, I think there's one or two where I was playing an acoustic. That's like some of the only times I've even played that thing.
Wow.
I'm an electric guitar guy.
Yeah.
Well, she sounds
too
good.
long since I played that. That was a lullaby that I wrote for my nephew about, it's got to be 35 years ago.
Wow.
But
Play it. Play it.
make sure I'm in tune here.
Man, Bird says, nice to work in acoustic to increase finger strength and more strong. True. That's why I played it a few more times than just recording the videos. And yeah, them fingers a little stronger. When my fingers aren't going numb, then
yeah. Well, that's the thing. You and I are in the same boat there, but you've got back into practicing, and you still remember. I'm having to relearn a whole lot of things.
For the most part, I remember bits and pieces of songs. I don't know if there's any song I could sit down and play the entire, even some of my own stuff. Like I'm forgetting. That's fine.
Yeah. Another little one I wrote.
That's nice.
In a long time.
That's lovely. That was awesome.
Yeah, well, that's something I want to work on that with you, man.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. And it's weird because that begins with a sort of a Mexican thing that
that's nice.
And the weird thing is I changed the timing on that the main riff to the song. And because the first time I did it, it just reminded me of frogs hopping around because it was in Irish timing, you know. And when I changed it, I kind of just, I know there was a thunderstorm going on. I think the power was out, and that was down in the house in Palmerton. And I just sat there playing with the thing all night and trying to do whatever variations I could do. And I think that was about 2013, somewhere in that range, 2014. No, sooner than that, because it was after Don left. Around 2011, somewhere in there. But I started to get a lot stronger in this hand playing. And then around 2016, when I got the diabetes, the neuropathy hit. So, you know, but it's a nice little piece for beating around. I wouldn't want to take it on stage or anything, but, and it needs a lot of cleanup. Boy, have I played with this. And I just wiped the dust off it. So there's that. But yeah, she's been a good friend to me for a long time. So there's that. That's the collection thus far.
That's the collection?
Yep. And I've got the 12 string back there, but there's no strings on it. I'm redoing that one. And I'm going to get one of these things from Stumac, a bridge doctor. And the problem with the 12 string is you've got all that pressure pulling up from the bridge because there's double the number of strings. Yeah. So you put this thing, it basically a dowel and a block of wood that you put under the bridge, and you, let me get this right, you have to push down and push it forward inside the guitar, and it pulls the top down so it's even with the rest of the top. And that way you don't have an action that's about 3 feet off the fretboard. Because that's the main problem with that one right now, is the action is just so unbelievably high.
John wants action tonight.
Yeah, I apologize for the bad playing, but it's been a while. But yeah, I still try to have
John. Much better than me.
Old Man Bird says, "On that gray silver Stratocaster hanging on your wall, Fez." Yes, actually, he showed that earlier. Replay the Granite Caster.
Yeah, that's got a what did I say? Rust-Oleum granite finish on it, and they were selling this paint a few years back, about 10, 15 years ago. And it has, this stone kind of texture to them. And they come in different colors. I figured I'd repaint that one because everybody has a sunburst Strat. So I wanted mine to be different. And I did the paint job, and I put the Seymour Duncan Performer pickup in the front at the bridge. And it worked out pretty nicely. Not bad for Mexican made. So
I'm actually jealous, though. I mean, I always wanted a sunburst Strat.
Yeah.
But for the price of a real good one, a real nice one, that's why I never got one. I just kept buying Ibanez, because I could get them cheaper.
Yeah. That's the thing. And people don't realize that a lot of the there you go. A lot of the guitars that are made in Korea, Japan, some of the Mexican craftsmen are really awesome, but these guitars, that come from Japan and Korea are really great. That Les Paul is Korean.
You're preaching to the choir, man. Almost every single guitar I own is Japanese, including my Fenders, my Stratocaster, and because they're actually, even most of my Ibanez guitars are made at the I'm sure I'm saying this wrong, but the Fujigen plant.
Fujigen.
Yeah. So, and that's where they made the Fenders that I have. Probably even my first guitar I ever got is I'll have to show it off one of these days. I still have is a Takamine GX100, an electric.
Yeah. And today a lot of the guitars are made in the same factory. Fernandez guitars are the same as the Ibanez that I had, the purple one. That's the one the neck went on to Doomcock Space. And they're made in the same factory, and you can ask for whatever colors you want. If you're the business, what knobs you want, that sort of thing. But generally, it's the same shape, the same headstock, kind of crazy.
Andy Masterson said Flintstone motif guitar, the Granicaster.
Yeah.
Wilma!
Actually,
Old Man Bird
I thought about doing that once.
Hoshino, baby, actually. Hoshino Gaki is Ibanez.
Yep. And they actually started out as a Spanish company, which is why the strange name for a Japanese guitar. But
well, actually, they were a Japanese guitar company, but my understanding is they bought a Mexican, was it a music store? I think they just sold like sheet music for the name. They wanted the name Ibanez because Hoshino Gaki wasn't going to sell great here.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It was a Spanish guitar company, and Hoshino Gaki,
something like that.
Buy insurance. Where was I? Oh, yes, it was a Spanish guitar company or music company that made guitars and other things, and they bought basically the business from the guy. I can't remember his name. His last name was Ibanez, though. And they took it over to Japan, and they've been making them ever since.
Yeah, I have a couple.
I made a lot of money.
I have a couple Ibanez shirts and a hat and stuff like that. And occasionally I'll wear them out, and people come up to me and go, Ibanez. No, maybe that's how it was originally pronounced, but it's a Japanese guitar company, and they say Ibanez, so that's what I say.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and it's pretty much the customers that actually agree on the pronunciation or decide the pronunciation, because nobody's going to say, if it was Ibanez, they're not going to say that. It's like Takamine. Nobody's going to say Takamine. They're going to say Takamin.
It looks like Takamine.
Yeah.
I would have never thought Takamine.
Or paste cymbals. It's actually pronounced Paiste, but
Paiste.
Everybody calls it paste,
Yeah. That's like the drums. Okay, Tama. Is it Tama or Tama? I hear it pronounced both ways. Tama, Tama.
I always said Tama.
See, I always said Tama. I don't know.
Yeah. Again, it's whoever's buying it decides what they're going to call it,
Yeah. Well, I'm probably wrong. I usually am.
Yeah.
But I got to say, you know what? You're making me want to jam. I got to say that. So, tell you what. I'm going to fire my guitar up. Talk amongst yourselves for a second. I will be right back.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Yeah. And then Raymond's got his bass, which is a beautiful little Ibanez with a great sound and a great feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you stole it from me on PodCon.
No, you lent it to me on PodCon. Because I was really curious.
Oh, no. Does anyone know how many guitars Len Rod has?
He brought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least.
Who? Oh, Lenrod?
Yeah, he brought at least 5 guitars, a flute, and I think a trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it a saxophone? But and FETT and I couldn't try any of them.
That's impressive.
FETT and I couldn't play any of them because they're left-handed. And it's how
do you get just a left-handed?
Well, you can order them that way. And some of the, the companies are tooled up to do it, but they don't do them all the time. But if you say you need a left hand, your music store will call them up and say, send me a left-handed model with these features. And in this
they're
color,
usually $100 extra.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why most guitar players, even left-handed ones, learn how to play right-handed.
Yeah.
Just because left-handed guitars are more rare and they're more expensive, just because.
Yeah, that's because left-handed people like me are evil.
Yeah.
Andy Master says, I know something you don't. I know I am not left-handed.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm more or less ambidextrous, but I play guitar right-handed, and I eat left-handed and write left-handed. That's about the only things I do left-handed.
See, I'm kind of I'm similar because I'm right-handed mostly, but I do a lot of things. Like I I bat for baseball, hockey. I do left-handed.
Mhm.
Certain things I do with my left hand, but thank God I
Yeah.
learned how to play right-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely less expensive. Was that me? Oh, yeah.
And that sounds so good. That's so good.
I messed up because I was hearing John.
Whoa.
Awesome.
Nice.
Oh yeah, Eyes of a
Nate,
Stranger.
Nate, that's awesome.
Can you guys
Yeah.
talk or no?
You're
Nice.
very low in speech, but the guitar is incredible.
Oh yeah, Baron Tag is here.
Oh,
Hey, Baron.
he's got a couple of great new songs out too.
Hey, Baron.
Hey, Baron.
That Waiting for God song is awesome, Baron. You've been reading my life.
You can't hear me because I'm going through the mic, the J Lab, but
Yeah.
we'll get this thing worked out, and I can either talk or play guitar. But
Well, that first one was, yeah, you know the band I'm thinking of, with Phil Collin and Steve Clark,
oh,
and
Def Leppard, yes.
Yes.
Floppy there.
not too bad.
they actually play it up here, so I'm trying to play it the right way.
Yeah. But yeah, the High and Dry album, that one's from Pyromania, but the High and Dry album is 40 years old this year.
Holy crap.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Kiwi tour. Yeah, Carla's on tour. And he says when they both switched to left-handed fencing, I remember.
Yeah.
See,
Princess Bride reference.
I've been wanting to jam. Man. It's like I'm here live on YouTube and I can't think of anything to play.
Operation Mindcrime. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Oh, yeah. Balls to the wall.
Pedals are P-Ramp. That's my amp, brother.
Yep.
I don't use pedals anymore. I just don't. And it's just a crappy Ibanez Tone Master. That's all I'm playing to. That's it.
Yeah. Sounds great.
It's not. Is it too loud or anything? Or?
No, it's good. It's right up there.
Hey guys, I'm gonna call it a night.
All right.
So catch you guys later.
Take it easy, Raymond. Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
yep.
Boy, you can pop your link in the chat.
Okay.
I'm surprised you guys can even hear me. That's cool, though. Yeah,
just barely. Yeah, Sandra, if you can pop his link in, that'd be great.
I think. Wait, I think. Let's see. Am I? Right, Baron.
And buy books.
Yes, buy books.
Raymond's books.
Yes. Nothing happened today, so yes, buy books.
Lots and lots of books.
Yes. I can't believe people don't read books anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, there's the link.
There you go.
All right, night, guys.
Take care, Raymond. Have a great one.
Yep. Night, Carla.
Night, Sandra.
Night, Sandra.
Oh, I guess Carla bailed.
Carla's.
Oh, she must have lost signal.
Yeah, it's possible.
All right, we're looking forward to it, Baron. Night
Awesome.
off.
All right. Good night, Raymond. Thanks for stopping by, brother.
Yep.
Yes. Well, man, Bird says, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Fucked it up a little at the end, but it would be fed if I didn't. Man, it's like, you know, I sit around jamming all day long and I play all this stuff and I come on YouTube and I can't think of nothing. But honestly, I can kind of play guitar.
Better than me. Baron says, Lord Mouse says hi and wonders if you can do Cat Scratch Fever.
How the hell is that?
Hail Mouse!
How'd that go, John?
Oh, that's Smoke on the Water. Nope. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a long time since I played that one.
I'm trying to think of Lay It Down, and all of a sudden I started thinking of Firehouse.
Nice.
Totally had the balloon here over like what little of my guitar you probably even see, but
Yeah. Yes, Baron, we've told Carla on many occasions she's on the wrong side of the road.
old man.
What have you told me?
Uh-oh. Yeah,
You're driving on the wrong side of the road.
You guys are mistaken.
No, we're just on the other side of the world. The good side.
I don't believe anywhere FETT and FETT can be the good side of the world.
Yeah. Oh, Old Man Bird was playing that song today.
Yeah, he said he's practicing that today. That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
I don't know Panama, Baron, believe it or not. I don't know much Van Halen stuff, honestly. don't know why. Just never really figured out much of that stuff. I can
Yeah.
kind of. I mean, I do the shredding thing. That's the thing.
Yeah, start the show off.
You know the thing is,
Nice.
I suck too. I'm out of practice, man. I used to be really good.
Yeah, still doing well. Ah, nice.
You know what I was playing earlier?
Huh.
I was just talking about Legally Blind is here. Holy smokes.
Oh, hello there.
Yeah. Just like last week, man, I'm trying to cut it down to 2 hours and keep running like a routine in the schedule here, and everybody's showing up now.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I'd like to think it's my guitar that drew the people out of the woodwork, but
Yep.
most of the time my guitar makes people run to the hills. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, I attempted.
Oh, it's fine.
Even for the plug and pull with the lethal grin.
That sounds really good.
Nice.
We are impressed.
Thank you.
Yes.
Too loud or anything, I hope.
No.
Cool. So, yeah, I can kind of play with it. Trying to think more things to play.
So long as you don't get struck.
What's that?
What's that, Carla?
Can't you focus the camera? Can't you focus the camera on him playing the guitar? Like, can he lean back
How's that?
and make him bigger?
You sound like a Udo. Oh, we were watching you drive.
There you go.
See, a lot of times when I'm just sitting around jamming, I'll play like a riff or something like that, and then I'll just kick into some shredding and stuff, and I'm just trying not to like destroy your Leopard kick, I'm just trying to think of some things like I used to play when I was a kid. I was saying last week how coming under fire was one of the very first things I ever learned or figured out. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I was practicing a little bit earlier, and I love the band Lizzie Borden. I don't know Way Cool Jr. I kind of don't like that song, so I never bothered to figure that one out. But anyway, I was jamming to some Lizzie Borden earlier. I don't know, probably nobody knows this song, but one of my favorite songs by Lizzie is a song called Dead Serious. And it goes kind of something like this. Tim says,
nice.
Yeah, that's my problem. It's like I'm going through the mic for the guitar. It's either talk or play, so I'm trying to do a little playing before I go back to this microphone. But
yeah.
Anywho.
John.
Freebird.
John may have to.
What about John?
John, can you tell us what FETT's saying? Because we can't hear what he's saying.
What are you saying?
I'll just play.
He'll just play.
Oh.
Guys, go ahead and talk amongst yourselves, and I'll just jam. How's that? copyright for that one. They're being real hard on the ghost stuff.
Jeez.
Well, AI, take it out? Can AI take it out?
I probably could cut it off after. It was only a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Hell, Jason Love in the house.
Hey. Hello. Yeah, where'd she go?
Holy smokes, I'm too busy jamming. I missed it.
Ah, but William Shakespeare is here. Hello.
Hell, brother.
I'm back.
Hell.
Ah, there she is.
I don't know how long I am for this world.
Ah,
I don't. Hi. Hi. I'm going to end up losing the reception soon.
All right.
ah.
Okay, so if I drop out, I still love you.
Oh,
Ah,
Aha.
you didn't need to do this bit. They just watch you play guitar. Don't worry about me.
for those that don't know, that's one of my old band songs. It's called "I Still Love You."
Yep.
Totally forgot the end there, but something like that. I don't know my own song anymore, but
Yep. Yeah, William Shakespeare. That what I was holding up there was his cassette from back in the '90s from his band Roulette.
yeah. Actually, I don't know
That's
any
very
Van Halen. I was
cool.
talking about that earlier.
That is very cool.
I don't remember any anyway. But I'm trying to think all the glam stuff. Normally I know all it like, you know.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yes, I do.
Holy shit, what do I know? Besides nothing.
Ah. Take care, Baron.
Great job. I feel like I've got my own soundtrack to driving.
Yeah, Baron, I really enjoyed those new songs of yours too.
All right, I think I'm back on my regular mic. Do I got any echo or anything? Or
no, you're good.
all
yeah,
right.
Baron's
it's
taking off. He needs to get at the wife. And,
yeah.
You take care,
awesome.
Baron. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry for blowing your eardrums
Yeah.
out. My stupidity.
Hail Mouse.
Hail Mouse. All right.
Just stop vibrating.
And hail the long suffering. And
I
old
guess
man too.
I guess I should get back to like remembering there's actually people here and there's a live stream going on.
Well, you were having fun. We didn't want to interrupt you. You were having fun.
Yeah. I think I've got my own soundtrack to my driving.
I mean, dude, you're smiling.
Yeah, man. That's the thing about playing the guitar, man. I can't believe I put it down for so long. And I'm actually surprised too, because earlier today my hands were going numb. So, but now they're kind of cooperating. A little nervous, lots of little messes up in there and everything. But yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for everybody letting me do that and get that out of my system. I feel much better now. I'll tell you what, I started to stream out depressed and, hopefully I'm not too loud because the mic's way back here, but I started to stream out depressed and everything.
It's not like yes, you would.
What's that, Carla? Are you there, Carla? Uh-oh, she's cutting out. But yeah, what I was saying was I started to stream out all depressed, and actually most of the stream, if you notice, you go back, this is one lame live stream, man. I'll be the first one to admit that. I brought up articles. I didn't feel like reading them or anything, but look at that. I play guitar for a little bit, and it's like the world went away.
I don't know. You can tell me.
Cut now, Carla.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Take care, Carla.
Okay, take care, Carla. Thanks for hanging out.
Bye.
Be safe.
All right, yeah, I totally, man, this one here, I'll tell you what. I wasn't even going to live stream tonight because I was so miserable. I haven't felt great the last 2 days. But now I'm glad I did because this was freaking awesome. Thank you guys for being here and for letting me do that. Why the hell am I over here in the corner?
Because I needed somebody to hold me up.
Okay. I'll put me over there so the bubbles aren't over you. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, man, all right, you know what? I have someone very special to me who, when she first saw my first live stream, she calls that one my therapy session. Well, I'll tell you what, this was just as much a therapy session tonight. I needed this. That was really cool. Sorry, I was sucking a little bit there and all, but man, that was fun. That was fun. So
you were enjoying it. I was enjoying it. The crowd was enjoying it.
I'll tell you what, there's proof right there why you need to play an instrument. Doesn't have to be guitar. Doesn't even have to be metal, although metal is cooler. But that's where you need to play an instrument. Look at, man, I just 100%, 180. I'm like totally psyched up now, you know. So
Yep.
totally
Awesome.
been blown off the chat, and I severely apologize for I totally apologize for that. But yeah, sorry, Baron. Thanks for stopping by. William Shakespeare says that was truly awesome, Fed. Thank you, brother. Thank you. If I actually practice a little more,
Yeah.
I'll be good again. But yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely
and
need that.
I held up the roulette cassette for William Shakespeare
I saw that.
because he was asking about the story of the studio and making of that.
Oh yeah, this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this was 1997. Okay, if you guys heard this story before, you can tune out or whatever. But for those that care, used to be in the band. We didn't get very far. We kind of came out around the time where all that grunge was taking over everything, and nobody wanted to hear our stuff. But yeah, I remember recording this like it was yesterday. This one's not open, so I don't want to open it. But I remember one of the coolest things, one of my coolest experiences of recording this whole thing was when we got the proof sheet for the cover. Like, we didn't even pick the cover. I think we went with disc makers in New Jersey. You know, they did everything for us. This was before I even know how to do graphics. So now I wish I could go back and do my own. But they sent us the proof sheet to approve this and everything. And the coolest thing, we all jammed because it had a barcode. You know, back in the day, you know what I mean? Only real things had a barcode. So we were jamming so bad that we had our own barcode. But yeah, this was an album. It's all originals that we recorded back in 1997. You know, some of the songs I was talking last week about. What am I too loud? I keep forgetting I turn my voice.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm yelling into the microphone because I normally have the microphone at 100%. Now I turned it up today, but I'm starting to ramble now because I'm like in such a good mood now, and I'm like too much to say at once. But yeah, I was talking, I think, last week how when we were in the studio, we were originally supposed to record with, there was a band in the area that was kind of they were big celebrities for around here. They were called Dirty Looks. If anybody watched the Headbangers Ball back in the day, they played that crap out of Oh Ruby. Oh Ruby was their big hit on the Headbangers Ball. Well, Dirty Looks was from here. They were from Central PA. And matter of fact, to this day, I don't know how the singer was Heinrich Ostergaard or something like that from Denmark. I don't know how the hell he ended up here in Pennsylvania. He passed away, unfortunately, a couple of years ago. But so anyway, their bass player, Jack Pyers, has a studio, or he did back then. He had a studio in his house, and so I was there. I was in the studio. I was cool. I'm proud to say I was in Jack Pyers' house. I don't have many celebrity stories to tell or anything, but I was in his house, and I was in his studio, and we were discussing recording. We were going to record with him, but unfortunately, he was really strict. And in a lot of ways, I wish we would have went with him, because the guy that we used on this, he was not strict enough, and he let our guys, like my drummer and my bass player, were tampering. That's why every song on here sounds different. They were tampering with the settings and thinking they knew how to work the board when they never did it before. So I almost wish we had went with Jack, but when we met with him, he had like a drum set in his own studio set up and all mic'd and everything. It's like, you got to use my drum set. And of course my drummer didn't like that. So that was off the table from there on. But this here thing, it's on my channel somewhere. I have a playlist called Roulette, I think. The full album's on there. I think there's some old from a Mothers Against Drunk Driving show concert footage of me back in the day when I actually colored my hair. But you guys can check that out. I have a playlist. Matter of fact, the Legally Blonde, I don't know if she's still here, but she's the one who asked me to make the playlist. So it's there. If you ever want to check it out, full album's there, including the full version. I'm sure you're all stood and fought out by now by hearing Stand and Fight so many times in your life here on this channel. But full songs on there, including my guitar solo. Also, one thing I'm proud of too, I spoke of my guitar teacher on the one live stream. He actually did. He played on this too a little bit. He played a couple. What do you do? He did. I'm trying to think. Oh, he was on the song "How Do I Let You Go." I hate that song. I didn't want anything to do with that one. So he's on that one. The song "Take It Sleazy." He did slide guitar on that. I was totally honored to have my guitar teacher, play on our album with this. So Al Paul is on here too. He was kind of somewhat of a celebrity in this area too, originally from New Jersey. How he ended up here too, I don't know, but he had a band back in the day called Euthanasia. They were pretty big around here. And he actually played on, a lot of people don't know, the band Godsmack. Sully Erna, the singer of Godsmack, was actually in a metal band before that, years before Godsmack, called Malaya Rage. And my guitar teacher, the guy that taught me how to play, did some guitar solos on the one Malaya Rage album, and he's actually even credited on it. Al Paul. So yeah, check that out. One for the people who like to look stuff up out there. But so Ramble on. That's all I do here. But not much really to say about it. We did some shows and stuff, and like I said, grunge came in. We weren't welcome anymore. Definitely weren't grunge. And matter of fact, I'm proud of this, but I always wanted to be heavier. We started out as like a thrash metal band. Matter of fact, geez, what the hell was the first song we ever wrote was a song called "Cremation of the Soul." That tells you what kind of music we started out as, and somehow we kind of dwindled down to being like Queensryche, progressive metal, and then it ended up being this. I don't know. I always compare it to, most people know Skid Row. I would compare this more to like Skid Row. At the time, I was listening to other bands like Sweet FA and South Gang. It's kind of what inspired me on this, and Firehouse. Yeah, Firehouse. It's even Firehousey, a little heavier, a little more bad language on it than Firehouse, but kind of Firehousey, Skid Row, that sort of thing. But just bad timing. If we were 10 years earlier, might have been something. But so anyway, that's that. But
very cool.
Yeah. So anyway, it sucks. I wish I'd have been in this good a mood at the beginning of the stream instead of just sitting here like a bump on a log. But it's been a rough week. It's been the last couple of days really sucked. Really sucked. John, I was telling you, we were talking before the stream. So, okay. I don't go anywhere. I've hardly gone anywhere for the last 10 years, really. I hardly leave the house unless I have to. Other than, the meetup with Gary last year and Andy and PodCon. Other than that, but I'm starting to go places now. I'm started, like I keep saying, my life's going on a different trajectory and stuff like that. So I have this same battered pair of sneakers that I've had for probably the better part of 10 years. Probably at least, right? And again, I don't go anywhere, so I might throw them on a weekend if I go to the store or something, get groceries or something. I don't even really look at the stupid things, but recently noticed that they're in worse condition than the crappy cheap shoes that I just wear around the house. So I've spent the last couple of weeks, looking at sneakers, and man, the price of sneakers anymore are ridiculous. So I've been I've had stuff in my cart on Amazon. I even yesterday went to a local shoe store to see if they had some of the ones I had in my cart, to see if they looked like they were worth this much money. And at first I thought it was a wasted trip because they didn't really have the ones I wanted, but the ones that I saw that were there, they didn't look like they were worth this much money. So it wasn't a wasted trip. But anyway, so that's one of my things I woke up to today. I think there's some shenanigans going on. I finally placed an order for sneakers that I probably shouldn't have spent the money on, but I'm going out of town again the end of the month, June, the end of June. So I would have liked to have had something nice, but I think I'm getting shafted on those. And well, that got me looking. I actually have, I don't know if I talked about this before, but all throughout high school, okay, when I was in high school, the trend was, everybody kind of wore the Air Jordans. You guys probably remember the red, white, and black Air Jordans and stuff like that. So, of course, I had to be different. I wore, Converse came out with the Weapon. It was kind of their version of the Air Jordan. And they had a huge variety of colors. And I don't know why. You guys know I'm into the green and the black and stuff like that. But for some reason, I had me a set of the they call them gold, but they were yellow, purple, and white ones. Wore them all throughout high school. I had 2 pairs of shoes throughout high school. I didn't swap out shoes that much back then either. I remember it was I think it was the beginning of my junior year. I finally wore out the ones I had, and my mom just happened to come home one day and go, here's another pair of those shoes. So all throughout high school, same pair of shoes. Well, back in, I want to say 2004, 2005-ish, I guess it was when Nike bought Converse, which I wasn't happy about, but they bought them. But they did re-release the Weapon. And I actually bought 2 pairs of them. And thinking about this shoe, my mind's been on shoes the last week, especially. So I started going through my room, and I actually found them. I actually bought 2 pairs when Nike released the weapon, and one never even out of the box. But I have another one here, and I only wore these a few times. And I was thinking maybe I should just wear these, So I broke them out to take a look at them, and they were really, really cool back in the 80s. But now I don't know. What do you think? You see me walk around with these? You're gonna walk the other way, aren't you? I don't know.
I think you could get away with that. Yeah.
I mean, see, here's the thing. I've never been the kind of person who was like, "Hey, look at me." But apparently back in the 80s, I didn't mind people, because I mean, this kind of screams, "Hey, look at this guy." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want to try to be a little more subtle these days. But
yeah.
And back in high school, I actually used to buy, and it used to take forever to fish them through. I remember that, but I used to have the white, and I would buy yellow and purple laces too, and jam them all through there. So I had all these yellow, purple, and white laces and all, and I never tie my shoes, so they'd be just like hanging and flopping all over the place. You know what I mean? That was a look back then,
Yeah.
So I don't know. It sucks. It's a shame. These are, for all intents and purposes, these are new shoes.
Yeah.
Another pair upstairs, never even been open. But I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe I'll just be different and just start walking around wearing these.
Yeah, why not? Everybody else is with the blue hair and the tattoos and the nose rings and spikes through their heads and all this.
Maybe I'll start a new trend. Bring the weapons back. Bring back the flamboyant shoes of the high tops too, man. You don't see them very often anymore.
Yeah. Plus the yellow and blue coloring makes green.
William Shakespeare said, I suspect you have limited time remaining on our stream today. Yeah, I wanted to actually wrap it up at 2 hours, but I kind of got jamming. But he says, I only have about 1 million things to ask and talk to you about now, FETT. Oh, that's cool, man. I'm glad. Hey, fugly sneakers. So I can't, man. They reminded me of my childhood, man. That's what I wore. That's what I wore back in the day. I remember there was even a time, I don't know if Illegally Blonde's probably not still here, but we had an art teacher back in high school named Mr. Davis. It's Mr. Davis. He had long hair. He was cool for the most part until they got to him a couple years in. But anyway, I remember the one thing he had us do was we all went out to I think Illegally Blonde was there. I forget. He had us go out to the parking lot, and we all taped together big sheets of paper, like full length, that we could lay down on, and we would have somebody trace us. So I laid down on this big sheet of paper, and somebody traced me, and then I had to color it in, like what I thought I looked like, and blah blah blah. And I'll never forget, I had yellow, purple, and white weapons, and I remember drawing those in great detail. I didn't care about my face. My face is probably just like 2 dots and a smiley face, but I remember making sure I took care to draw those Converse weapons in there nicely and neatly. Yeah. So they were important to me at one time, those weapons. Kind of clown looking now, but you had to be back in the 80s. You had to be back in the 80s. 80s were a different time. 80s were a different time.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back to the 80s. I was actually born in the 70s, but I didn't really pay attention. I didn't really know what was going on until the 80s. 80s was probably, people always say to you, if you could wake up one day and be back here, when would you want? I'd be the 80s for me. I'd want to be the 80s. Music was cooler. And by music, I'm talking metal. Even the pop. I'll even be honest. Even the pop. We didn't even know back then. Like, I used to shrug Michael Jackson and stuff like that off, but we didn't even know how lucky we had it there. It's like all this pop today sounds, it's always on at work, and I can't tell any of it apart. Nothing like, at least Michael Jackson, you walked around singing, beat it, beat it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't even know stuff from today, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know much of what's out there, because you're right. It does sound all alike.
It does. William Shakespeare says, a conversation that will go well into June, so it can just simmer for now until another stream when there's more time. I'll come up. All right, man. You're definitely welcome here anytime. So if
it goes into June, it's only 15 minutes.
That's true. We're almost into June. He said well into June, John.
Yeah.
So he said well into June.
Okay, noon.
But yeah, if you missed it, I'm trying to stick to a regular formula here. I'm trying to stick to 9 o'clock, which I've stuck to the last couple of weeks, in 3 weeks, I think it is now in a row. I'm going to try to do it every week at 9 o'clock, but I'm trying to see, here's the secret. Okay. I'm going to share another secret on the stream now. It doesn't leave the stream. So I can totally do 3 hours, right? But I keep telling myself it's got to be 2 because I know I'm going to go over like I did because I see my counter says 2 hours and 46 minutes.
Yeah.
So at least then I wrap it up by 3. So the idea is to end it by 3 so that I can do, 4 equal live streams a month until I can afford to get me a subscription to StreamYard. Because I'm looking into these other things. People are sending me information on other things, and I don't know. StreamYard is still the coolest to me, Yeah. But I can't afford an arm and a leg right now. But anyway, that's for the future. But yes, so hopefully, with any luck, I'll be here again next Saturday at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So you can find me here, hopefully. And hopefully we'll all still be here and still be healthy and all that there good stuff.
Yeah.
And I hope. I totally apologize for being in such a crabby mood all night. And, I was on the fence about whether I should even live stream tonight because I wasn't feeling it. But
You're feeling it now.
I am now. I should have. You know what? The thing of it was I was practicing a little bit earlier. I know what the secret was. I was messing with trying to get. First of all, I was trying to use this setup, and then I thought, well, I'll just use the laptop. I'll go back to that because then I can talk on this mic and still have that. But then I had the delay. I had the delay issue, so I couldn't play right because I'm hearing 2 of me with a delay.
Yeah.
So I figured, well,
under the right circumstances, that could be cool as hell.
Yeah. Your hair looks like cotton candy, and Fezzi looks like you're being real nice tonight. I said at the beginning of the stream, I don't know what it is. I woke up today, and if anyone's familiar with the Munsters, man, I'm Zombo. You remember when Eddie went to the TV guy? I'm Zombo. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
get you some black number one.
Yeah. And for anyone that missed it, I have a zit today too. That's how great this week and these last 2 days especially has been. I got straw hair and I got a zit, big old zit on my face. But I'm just gonna try to grow a beard like you, I think.
Yeah, give it a shot. This hides a million sins.
It does, and I got 1,000,001 right here. But
also holds the memory of 1,000 meals.
Jason loves his prince. Zombie. Oh, Zombo. Yeah, Zombo. Oh, shoot. See, I even wrote myself notes here. That's another thing I forgot to mention earlier. The deaths we had. Jeez, see, this is how depressed I was. I totally forgot about this. Hold on 1 second. I have something to show here. Let's have a moment of silence. Hold on. We lost Peter Kwong this week. I can't believe I almost forgot to mention that. Listen, when you take Star Wars off the table, 2 of my favorite movies of all time are Big Trouble in Little China and Flash Gordon. And he was in Big Trouble in Little China. And that's all he needed to be in for me. I don't even care I shouldn't say I don't care, but Big Trouble in Little China is such an important movie in my life. That's all he needed to be in to be important to me. And that sucks that he passed. And as I'm approaching the 3-hour mark, I hate to do this, but I actually want to share my screen because there is something else I wanted to talk about. 1 second here. We'll do this on the way out. Hold on. Too many things to click, just for the sake of argument here, StreamYard. Too many things to click to screw everything up. But, so, okay. Big Trouble in Little China, okay? If you got, I'm not going to tell you about the movie because either you guys like it or you don't like it. It's one of those movies. But, so, one thing I always think about when I think about Big Trouble in Little China, aside of how cool and awesome the movie is the scene in the beginning where the girl comes over from China and she gets kidnapped by this Asian gang. Yeah. In this picture here. So, they take off in this Trans Am. Okay. This is a 3rd generation Trans Am Firebird. So I've said many a time how I had my first 2 cars were 3rd generation Camaros. So I know all about these cars. They're the same car.
Mhm.
So these guys, these thugs, kidnap the girl and they throw her in the back of this car. In the back of this car. Look at this. Now, for anyone who's ever had a third generation Camaro or Firebird, you guys know how small that compartment is in the back. Matter of fact, the little portion where her little tushy there is jammed into, right? I have, and I still have, I should have thought to break it out tonight to show it off, but I still have my little Marshall Lead 20 amp that I used to take to band practices back in the day. That thing just barely fit in there. Matter of fact, it was such a tight fit that to this day, that amplifier sits behind me missing a knob because it got knocked off from being such a small, tiny compartment back there. And every time I see this scene, I feel so bad for that actress having to be shoved because they even closed it too. And the scary part is if you're familiar with a third generation Camaro and Firebird, the latches on those were electric. So like it just made a click and then it was like, and it just sucked it in. So they put her in there and then she probably had to sit there while it looked like her life was about to be sucked out. So this is just one of those weird, memorable, which there are a lot of memorable moments in this movie to me, but this is just one of those that fits my life personally, you know, because I had a car like this, and I always feel for the actress right here. But what a great movie! And you know, in my house, I have this poster is literally hanging right above me, right here.
Wow!
Because
Awesome.
Well, right above the desk is Princess Leia in her slave bikini, because that's about all inspiration one really needs. But when I'm not needing that sort of inspiration, to the left of that is this poster, because I love this movie so much. Another little story on the way out. So I always talk about my nephews, how we were close in age and we grew up like brothers. Well, the youngest one, we're about 7 years apart. So when he would come up and spend some time at my mom's house, we didn't always have things in common. There was kind of an age gap. But I remember for some reason, a lot of times when he was at the house, we would watch Big Trouble in Little China. And we had this little routine at the end of the movie where, if anyone's familiar with the closing theme, it's got like a real deep voice, which I think is John Carpenter. And it says, Big Trouble. And then there's another smaller voice that goes, in Little China. Well, me and my little nephew used to always sing that. I would be the Big Trouble, and he was the Little China. So it's something that kind of helped bring us together and bridge that age gap. And it's another fun memory of this movie that I will never forget. And
that is really cool.
Yeah. So, and also, and speaking of Flash Gordon, this is my other poster that I have right back here for more inspiration. So again, I said you take Star Wars off the table. Love these. I know it's not like Casablanca like Doomcock just did the video on and everything, but hey, this is me. I'm a simple guy. Give me some Big Trouble in Little China and some Flash Gordon and I'm good. Yeah. But yes. So unfortunately we lost Peter Kwong this week, and that sucks. He was if you guys are familiar with that movie, and that there were the 3 storms. Yeah. You know, there was thunder, lightning, and I'm not sure what the third one went by. But he was one of the 3 bad guys that wore the funky hat, and so real cool movie, real cool cool dude to be in that movie. So yeah, that one hurts. Yeah. But glad I didn't forget that. So trying to think, for as miserable as I was earlier, I think I kind of covered what I had planned, which really wasn't much. It was just the usual, again, ranting and raving about Bruce Springsteen and all those there people, but I'm constantly hearing it myself, so I spare just by not reading the articles anyway. So all right, let's see. I guess I'll just try. What's that?
I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm just going to do a little rambling on the way out. Try to do the usual. I'll try to come up with a video, and hopefully it won't be like a politically related one or something like that, because I'm getting sick of doing them and you're sick of hearing them. Hopefully I'll come up with something different. Totally one of these days I totally want to do a cover of In My Dreams, which I played a little bit earlier. So I got to practice a solo on that, though. I used to know that note for note, but I'm sure I forget it now. But so again, keep an eye out for some shorts. Another live stream next Saturday, same FETT time, same FETT channel, 9:00 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, Unfortunately, there weren't too many guests here tonight, but I don't blame them. I want to hang out with me tonight anyway. But Jason Love says, love Flash. Yeah, me too, man. A lot of people think that's too cheesy. Well, it's supposed to be. It was meant to be cheesy. It was kind of like a cheesy take on the Flash Gordon serials from back in the 50s. So it was meant to look like that and stuff like so. That's why I love it. That's why I love it. Plus, normally I don't like Queen's not really metal, but I don't like a hard rock soundtrack and a sci-fi thing. But man, that Flash Gordon soundtrack holds up after all these years. And Brian May on that the wedding song with the dual leads and stuff on that to this day, man, it's giving me chills. Great stuff.
Yeah.
But so yeah, all right. I guess that's about it. John, you got anything coming up or anything you want to talk about?
In about 3 minutes. I've got something for William. I've got something for William Shakespeare, but we got to wait 3 minutes.
Oh, June. It'll be June in 3 minutes. We're waiting for June.
Not quite.
Oh.
But if he's into Shakespeare, he'll recognize it right away.
Okay. Well, I'm sure
that.
You know what? It's a good thing you said that because hold on. We got another comment just came in. Jason Love says, one of my favorite soundtracks, TARDIS dematerializing. Yeah, Queen, absolutely. Absolutely great. And holy crap. Ornella Moody in Flash Gordon in those bikinis. I mean, everybody talks about Carrie Fisher, not the wrong Carrie Fisher. But man, nobody mentions Ornella in those bikinis and stuff in Flash Gordon. Woohoo!
Oh, yeah.
But
you remember the days when we had the Swedish bikini team in those beer commercials?
I do. I fondly remember that. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Times have changed. We can't have good stuff like that anymore.
No. Yeah.
Of course, one of them probably wouldn't even be female. But, Jason Love says Dale Arden. Yeah, she was great too. I forget her. What was her name? Melody Anderson, I think. Yo, she was hot too. That's the thing.
So, yeah.
Every single woman in Flash Gordon was hot.
Yeah.
Every Dale especially. Yeah, but Jason Love says Ming's daughter. Yeah, Ming's daughter. That's Ornella Moody. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. I wanted to be Prince Baron in the worst way. And then because she cheated on him with Flash. I guess it would have been better off than
I wanted to be Brian Blessed. Because
Oh yeah. Oh,
big tough guy with the beard.
Oh yeah. Gordon's alive. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. That's what. One of these days we got to bring maybe that's what we'll do. One of these days. Do you like Flash Gordon, John?
Yeah.
All right. One of these days.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but
all right. Well, tell you what. Try to watch it. One of these weeks we'll I'll put the feelers out, bring a bunch of people on. We'll talk about Flash Gordon, and we'll have to do Big Trouble in Little China one of these days. If you can't get a hold of them, maybe I can hook you up with it. Because used to be I did that. Me and Appion did that whole episode on Big Trouble in Little China, and unfortunately his channel's gone. So we'll have to talk about Flash.
For William Shakespeare. We have heard the chimes at midnight.
Oh boy, John's ringing in. It ain't the new year; it's the new month. But
now, if he's still here, he'll know exactly what that's from.
Jason Love says maybe pair Flash with Ted.
Which Ted? Ted Danson?
No, Ted. I'm assuming he's talking about the bear.
Oh,
Sam Jones was in. I know he was in the first one. Was he in the second one? I have them here somewhere. I got to rewatch those. I watched those just for Sam J. Jones, the Flash Gordon references. That's how much I love Flash. I mean, Seth MacFarlane's cool and stuff, but I'm not the biggest Seth MacFarlane fan. But I get it. A cursing teddy bear. It's funny, but I watch it for Sam J. Jones.
Yeah. But, I wasn't into the cursing teddy bear, but then, I have a thing about teddy bears. They're kind of special. All
right. Well, you know what? Seeing as how I haven't unveiled this yet, and Gary Ambrosia was technically the first person into the pit, technically. But now I have a thing that's ready here to go. And John, what you just did there, I think qualifies. So get in there. Get in there. John is number 2 into the pit. So, of course, FETT needs the Sarlacc pit.
As long as I'm not number 2 coming out of the pit.
Oh, you will be eventually, over 1,000 years. In 1,000 years.
I got time.
Yeah. Well.
Yes, he got it. Henry V. Or Henry IV. That's right. That's right.
Very nice.
Jesus, the times that we have seen, said I right, Master?
Uh-oh.
We have heard the chimes at midnight, Master Shallow.
All right. Well, I guess with that, we're gonna call this one done. Again, I apologize for being so crabby this whole time. Next time, I gotta play me some guitar before I come on the live stream and not be. See, I'm trying. I almost curse. I don't think I even curse. I don't think I even curse. I've been so crabby. I don't think I even curse. Yeah, you know. Listen, here's how miserable I've been. I showed that stuff with Bono and Tom Morello. I can't stand Tom Morello. That should have lit me up. That's how disgusted I've been. That didn't even faze me. I didn't even want to read the articles. So again, I apologize. This one was a bit of a dud. I'll try not to be as much of a dud next week. But
not at all.
With that,
I think we all had a good time, right, guys?
I hope so. Hope my playing didn't suck too bad, but that's a shame.
Great.
You know, it's the thing was in the beginning. I wanted to talk, but I didn't. And like Carla wasn't here. Then Carla showed up and she was doing the dash cam, which everybody loves, but right in the segment where John was finally getting to show his guitars. So it was like everything was fighting itself. It went from nothing in the beginning to everything was fighting itself. So I apologize.
Oh, I had a good time with that. And it might have hid some of my bad playing. Because, you know.
But William says,
I'm not him.
Definitely great. I wish I wasn't me. Definitely great to see you jamming tonight. Thanks for the timing news for the week next week. See, I can't read. I can't see is my problem right now. Thanks for the timing news for next week. I'll get here much earlier. Cool. I'm trying not to interfere with King Dolphin, not cross the streams, as they say. So
right.
We're on the 9 o'clock thing. And he also says, and great to see Fez as usual too.
Thank you, sir.
More guitar.
Great to have you here.
Absolutely. I'm going to try to do more of the guitar plan. A little inconvenient the setup I have right now. But anyway, if it's working, I'll try to jam a little more and stuff. But so anyway, I guess we'll call this one done. So, you know what I always say. You guys aren't subscribers. You're my friends. So, for everyone that was here on the panel, all 2 of us. No, Raymond was here, Carla was here. But for everyone that was here on the panel, for everyone that was here in the chat, for everyone that will watch this on the replay, you guys are awesome. I love you. You know what you have to do? I hope you know what you have to do. You have to take care of yourself, take care of each other, and after that, you have to take it sleazy.
Shaking your